That was me back in February 1987, showing what can be done if you're trained in this stuff. Before we look at another piece of tape, this is from a paper that I wrote in September 1986. Perhaps the most interesting phenomenon described in this paper is the ability to detect the predominant color of a person's subjective imagery from external, very minimal cues. The accessing cue is simple. The predominant color of the internal image is given not by the eyes, but from minute changes in the color of the person's facial skin. What happens is that the skin very minimally turns the same color as the image. For example, if the internal image is predominantly red, then the facial skin tone becomes fractionally tinged with red, especially over the upward-facing planes of the cheeks, the forehead, and the chin. If the internal image is predominantly green, then the facial skin color becomes minimally tinged with green, and so on. In fact, the same holds true for the other primary colors: purple, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, as mentioned in Berlin and Kay's classic paper from 1969. And this color change is also evident with the mixed colors: white, dark brown, and peach. This is, I think you'll agree, intriguing. What is even more intriguing is to speculate on what are the mechanisms of skin and nerve physiology that make the color change possible. There is no doubt that it is there. Let's look at a clip.
The only other mention to this stuff was that Chinese jade dealers, when they used to hand over a piece of jade to somebody else to think about buying, would be very careful to hide their eyes, because the pupil would be a giveaway as to how interested they were. In fact, I don't think it's just the pupil. There are in fact 5 indicators that I'm using. And there's one more that I haven't told you about. And if we could have a volunteer, Pat, could you? You've done this in London, so... no, but if you'd like to sit here. Okay. This is the thing which, it's the weirdest to me, but it's very real. Please come closer, because you need to get real close.
Okay, but Eric, you can't get him around the TV.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do is you were in London 2 years ago.
Yes.
And it was great fun.
Yes.
So nice. We kind of went out and had dinner a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pat, I wonder if you can remember seeing a London bus, the big red buses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you see one now?
Yep.
And like almost close up, so that all you can see is like the whole of the big red London bus.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you notice about the colour of Pat's skin?
It's flushed.
More colourful. More which colour?
Red.
Got red.
Reflected from the bus.
Okay. All right. Simple, isn't it? Pat, you can let the bus go back to the garage now.
Did it turn orange? I just saw a school bus to find out how it felt.
Well, I wasn't looking at that.
Yes, it was definitely on.
And look at the blue truck now.
Okay. Well, I was going to go for green because.
Go for a plate of broccoli.
Excuse me. If we go for green now, that's the direct opposite for your retina. Okay. I mean, when I teach, I want you to get it. So I'm going to pick the colour initially. Then we'll go for hard ones. Right. So can you think of a field of real green, like London grass? Real verdant, or else something else that's real green. Totally.
Okay.
There you go.
London grass is greener than
Okay.
around here.
Right. Okay. Can you see the difference?
She's paling out a little bit.
Well, it's more than that. It's actually going green.
Mm-hmm.
It's turning green.
Okay. What just crept in?
Hmm?
Did something just creep in?
The rose. I just noticed the roses in that garden.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Because it changed.
Right.
Okay. So, there is a difference here. We can get to play around with this. Do you have like somewhere you can just think of completely yellow? The whole wall is yellow. Okay. There you go. Okay. There is actually a colour change. and the colour is in the same direction as the colour on the inside.
Where are you seeing the object?
Okay. Well, you're quite far away for it, but may I? It's around here, and around here, and around here, and around here. Okay. What we'll do now, though, is we'll swap to somebody else, because if you need to generalise across people, so if it's all right, we'll swap. Okay.
Glad you're a doctor.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Lillian, could you lift your chair a little? So, okay. All right. Now, just so we can play around with this a little bit, can you think of the colour blue, completely blue?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Something else is purple in there too.
Yeah.
Okay. So a bit of purple crept in
She's
here.
breathing.
Okay. A bit of purple crept in here. Now, can you see what I'm seeing? How many of you? Some of you can and some of you can't.
You see a difference in the blue.
What I'm seeing is responding to your suggestion.
Hang on a sec. One at a time. You can see a difference in colour on the
Yeah,
TV
you can see a
screen.
difference in the color on the TV screen where it's like, now it's all back to a normal shade, but right when you said purple, right underneath here,
You can see that?
it was changing, yeah.
All right. My understanding of the technology of television is that some cameras will act as colour spectrum amplifiers. They will actually amplify colours different part, and other cameras shift the whole thing towards one part of the spectrum. So if this camera system shows it, that's great. But Ed,
What if someone other than you were to suggest a colour that she's to think of and you're to identify it?
well, I'm going to come to the next part, which is that we're all going to guess, because that way we'll
Would
teach
you
you.
prepared to be tested with that?
I'm going to do that now, yeah. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to guess, and you're going to guess too, because that's like stuff we did before. We've only got word of mouth to go on. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, okay, is pick. I've already seen, the inside of Marianne and Ed's house, and it's a certain decor. Okay, if you were to be allowed to change it to any other decor, okay, and we're talking about predominant, like you can have it the whole thing. Okay, how about you go ahead and think that? Yeah, whole house. Okay. Anybody willing to try and guess?
I think she had some red.
Green.
Red? Hang on a sec.
Red.
Pink or red?
Pink.
Pink here?
I'd say reddish.
Reddish? Anybody? Peach? Is it peach colour? Okay.
Reds, nah.
It's peach.
Peach.
Okay.
Peach and green. Whoever said green.
Yeah.
Her dress turned peach.
What was the green in it?
Edmund.
Shh, no. Shh. What was the green in it? Was there any green in it?
Yeah, there was green in it.
Well done. Okay. Coconut for the lady. Okay.
Did you see peach yet?
Huh? Peach was all around here.
Yeah.
All around here.
And her dress.
Well, no, Ed's made a point. What happens when they're wearing clothes of a different colour? Well,
And
you
when
don't-
they're wearing pancake makeup as well.
you can calibrate for that. Let me show you a difference. Is there somebody here? So would you come, because you're pretty much unshaven, and I want to do something that's quite simple. Could you mind swapping? Because you're asking about the effect of things that ought to get in the way, like makeup, which Luann's got a little amount, or look at me. I mean, I've got a pretty heavy beard, all right? Should that make a difference? Okay. All these people looking at you. Okay. It's Daniel.
Yes.
Okay. Daniel, could you just face out there so that people get a chance to kind of see? Now, what I'd like to do is kind of just make a whole wall of white, and I slap white paint over the whole thing. There you go. A bit more. There you go, whole thing. All right. Wait. All right, you can let that one go now. And I want you to go back and paint it black. Whole thing black. Whole thing. Oh, a bit left. Come on, a bit more. Bit more, yeah. Bit left. Okay. All right, you can come back now. Now, I have to tell you, I do not know for the life of me how this is possible. Okay. Because what we're talking about, the colour of your subjective imagery is changing precisely the colour emission of your surface skin. Okay. Now, how the hell is that possible? You know, do the cells know what to do?